don't know.
Welcome to Aravaipa Trail Talk number 33. I'm Jam.
I'm Jubes.
And I'm Ranger Amy.
And this is a snake.
And we've got live rattlesnakes.
May not quiet down the entire time.
May not.
That one's not happy.
Yeah. Alright. So
I feel like I forgot this was happening today.
you did forget.
All of a
this was
sudden
happening.
there's rattlesnakes that show up.
I brought snakes to work. Actually, Ranger Amy brought snakes to work.
I did. They're so cute. Don't you just love them? I love them.
Okay, so
Why do we have snakes?
why do we have snakes? So you guys have been asking us quite a bit about snakes and critters and all the things that you can find on the desert trails. And so we brought Ranger Amy in with her snakes to give you guys kind of a little bit of info or a lot of bit of info on what to do when you encounter these things on the trail. If you should be scared of them, if you should whatever.
And ask me questions.
Ask her questions. We brought her for all the questions that you have. If you've encountered Gila monsters, snakes, tarantulas, scorpions, Javelina, whatever it is.
All right, let's talk about what I
down.
brought today. So, everybody guess how many snakes we have in Arizona. Type it in. Type in your guess, and we'll see who wins. And I'll tell you after.
Can I guess?
You can guess.
When? Now?
Yeah, right now. Everybody type it in there, and by the time I finish introducing the snakes, then I'll tell you if you're right or not.
I'm going to say 5 million.
Like species
I mean
wise?
species. How many species do we have in Arizona?
I thought you meant like physical number.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I don't know that one.
Species.
How many species does Arizona have?
205.
Oh, good lord.
Different species, not subspecies. Okay, how many think?
Like I don't know. That seems like a lot.
They fit on a poster.
I stick by my 205.
I stand by
Take a guess,
205.
dude.
So what, like rattlesnake is like one, or would it be like black
No.
rattlesnake and diamondback rattlesnake?
Diamondback rattlesnake is one.
Alright, I will update it to 57.
Okay.
I will say 40.
Okay.
Conservative.
Everybody guess, and then we'll see who's right. Because you can't erase it. Or I guess I could delete it. So this one right here that's rattling like crazy is the Western Diamondback. And that's the one you're most likely to see on the trails. So that's the one, at least on the flat trails.
At least it's the loudest one.
It's the loudest one. It's the most
It'll give you the
common
warning
one.
shot.
Yeah.
It's also the largest rattlesnake in Arizona. So it can get up to 66 inches. So this one here in the middle is called the Speckled Rattlesnake. And you can see it's different. So to some people, it's like a rattlesnake is a rattlesnake. But look how cool this one is. It looks like it has stripes. It looks like a granite countertop. And the speckled rattlesnake can be brown. It can be kind of reddish pink. It can be blue. And it can be this cool white color with specks in it. It looks like a white granite countertop, like quartz countertop. Very cool. So that's the speckled. And then over here is the sidewinder. I don't know if you can see it in the picture.
It's also a rattlesnake?
And that's also a different species of rattlesnakes.
Okay.
I just brought 3 species of rattlesnakes today. I could have brought more, but I just brought 3.
Could have brought 57.
We'll see. And so this one right here is the sidewinder, and that's the one with the little eyebrows or eyelashes.
Oh yeah, it looks cool.
It's really cool.
It looks like a frog.
And this one only gets to about 2 feet long.
So these guys seem pretty like tame.
Yes.
In his in comparison to this guy who's just not happy about it.
Yeah, and that's kind of how it is out in the wild too.
Okay.
So these 2 species are pretty quiet by nature, and this one's the loudmouth. And the Mojave rattlesnake is the real. All right, does everyone have their guesses in? I'm going to tell you how many species we have.
Possibly.
Who do you think is closest?
Oh, you're gonna tell us now?
Yeah.
Oh, we don't want to tap. We want
Let's
to tap on
not- I
that.
don't tap on that one.
Roll on the snakes.
Right?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
Ready?
Ready? Oh, he's not going to stop. Anyway, 13 species.
13?
So,
We're
you guessed
way
off.
Of just rattlesnakes.
Just
Oh, I
rattlesnakes.
thought you meant all snakes.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jam. Yeah.
Look back at the footage and see what she said.
13. So there's 13
13
species
species
of
of
rattlesnakes.
rattlesnakes.
That's
Just
frightening.
rattlesnakes. And I have another rattlesnake. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Now, I have another snake that I'm going to show you guys in a little bit. So we can take these out here and we can talk more about snakes and we can show the big one. And I want you guys to be able to touch the snake. So I have a snake to show you, Jubes. Now,
That guy looks pretty active.
He is really active, and he's.
But he's not going to bite.
So, well, all snakes can bite if they want to, so you just have to be nice to them. Just like any dog can bite. Like, anyone that says my dog doesn't bite is a liar. Because all dogs can bite, so all snakes can bite. All right, hold out your hands. All right, awesome.
Oh.
This is a common king snake, and the reason I brought this one is because it's a nocturnal snake, so you're likely to see them when you're trail running. So this is a good one to see.
At night.
Yes, nocturnal snake.
But these guys don't warn or anything like that. Are they, like, do you come across them on the trail? Or, I mean, are they dangerous or?
So they're not dangerous. I wouldn't let you hold them because I kind of like you guys, so I wouldn't do that to you.
Well,
if they were dangerous.
you never know.
You never know. So this one is a harmless
Head's coming your way.
king snake. His name is Elvis because he's the king.
Oh.
You can laugh. Thank you very much. And this is about, they get a little bit bigger than that. And the reason that it's a good thing to have these in the desert is because if you don't like rattlesnakes, you might like this one because he's a snake eater.
He eats rattlesnakes.
He eats rattlesnakes.
Okay.
And so he can actually subdue a rattlesnake and eat it head first, even alive. Like sometimes he eats it before it's even dead. They're so.
So how do
awesome.
they strike the rattlesnake? Like if the rattlesnake is poisonous?
So if the rattlesnake is crawling along or a rattlesnake's there and he's going to grab it right behind the head and he's going to wrap his coils around it like Spider-Man. It's like you can't even see it. He's like.
So he's a constrictor or?
He's a constrictor.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So like what he's doing right now to your arm. So don't move. No, I'm just kidding. No, so he's not that strong. So he doesn't want to get bitten because he's not immune to the venom, but he's tolerant of the venom of the rattlesnake. So he definitely doesn't want to get bitten. And obviously he's kind of big, so he can only eat rattlesnakes that are as big as big as he is, or a little bit smaller. So he can't eat like a really huge rattlesnake. But most of our rattlesnakes don't even get as big as he is right now, like you saw the other two. Nikki
Yeah,
says
this guy's cool. I like this dude.
It's like the best.
How often do
bracelet
they
ever.
shed their skin? I'm sure that one will probably come up.
Sure,
but that's something I just
so
thought of.
it depends on the age. So this one's really old. Like he's probably a good 10, 12 years old, maybe even older than that. We've had him for a long time. And they shed their skin when they need to.
A millennial?
Yeah, he's a millennial snake. He sheds his skin when he wants to grow bigger, or if he just gets dirty and he needs to shed.
Okay.
So, he
Don't
probably
take a bath, just shed your skin.
Just shed your skin. He probably only sheds like once a month or something. But babies
Seems like a lot, actually. More than I would have thought.
Babies do it like every couple weeks or so. A baby
Really?
will shed its skin, and a rattlesnake won't even have its rattle until it's shed twice. So a baby rattlesnake can't even rattle at you until it's shed twice.
Ooh.
Is it still poisonous or venomous?
It's still poisonous,
Oh.
yeah.
Yep.
That's the ones you got to watch out for, the babies.
And that's
They won't
actually a
warn you.
myth. So it's a myth that the babies are more dangerous than the adults.
But you can't hear them.
They're more dangerous. You can't hear them, sure.
Yeah.
But everyone will.
Because
tell
usually,
you,
like that's whenever I encounter a rattlesnake on the trail, I always hear it before I see it, and then I'm able to like jump out of the way or
right.
hop over.
And for
it.
every one you hear, there's like 5 that you don't hear.
That's
Sorry.
great to know.
Awesome. Great.
Lovely.
Super.
So I have a friend that does telemetry, so he actually tracks the snakes, like looks for them on purpose, unlike most of you. And
Don't do that.
he was looking for snakes, and he says 8 out of 10 times he's like going doot 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 doot. And he's like, oh, there it is, right there, and it's right below him in a bush, just hiding. So he says it's most of the time you're gonna walk by a snake or run by a snake, and
you're
don't
not gonna even know it.
No, because they'll only really rattle if they think they've. Basically, it's a game of hide and go seek, and if they've been found, then they're gonna rattle because they're like, all right, the game's up. And so they don't always rattle. And then I also brought a.
Are they gonna fight?
No, they're not gonna fight.
They're probably not.
Probably not. But we can probably put this one back. I wanted to show that a lot of people are worried about like, well, how can I protect myself and avoid getting bitten by a rattlesnake? There we go. And this is kind of, take a look. This is what.
Hope you find your dad.
You can see that rattlesnake underneath the rock. So when I run, if I can't see if there's like a little indent where there's a couple of rocks and there's a little, little place where a snake could be underneath 2 rocks, I don't step here, I step out a little ways when I land. Just in case. Obviously, if it's 2 rocks and there's not enough room for a snake's body, then I don't really worry so much. Of course, it could be a baby one.
What about like climbing, hiking, where you're putting your hands?
So never put your hand where you can't see.
Okay.
Because that's where most people who aren't messing with Gila monsters actually get bitten. Is when they're climbing.
What's worse, rattlesnake or Gila monster?
It depends.
Both bad.
Not great.
It depends on how much. Like 1 out of 4 is going to be a dry bite with a rattlesnake. So you might get lucky and not
I
get
don't like
any
those
venom.
odds. I'd rather be like 3 out of 4 is
Right?
a dry bite, but it's 1 out of
Exactly.
4.
With this guy, if you're bitten, you're gonna feel really sick, and you're gonna go to the hospital
Every time.
There's
you're
no
gonna be
dry
sick.
bite.
Yeah, you're gonna.
Okay.
There's no dry bite. But the good thing is that there really hasn't been a documented case of someone dying from a Gila monster's
Really? I
bite
thought they were
in
deadly.
about 100 years. And most people think
Oh,
that.
snap.
see, no, I thought
really
they were
aren't fatal.
as poisonous. Okay.
No. So they're gonna bite your hand and like hold on like a bulldog. And so most people who go in the hospital, and most of these are guys between the ages of 18 and 24. So you can. Sorry, guys.
Okay.
That's the demographic, the risky
Because
demographic.
they're messing with them.
Oh, they're
messing
messing
with
with
them, and
them.
they're
Okay.
picking them up. Those are the ones that usually come into the hospital with like a Gila monster on their arm.
Oh, they just don't let go.
They just don't let go unless you have to really, like, you're supposed to relax your arm like you're gonna be able to relax.
Like
right?
it's dead or something.
Like you're gonna relax your arm and hopefully they let go, but they don't always.
Do they keep injecting venom, or is it just the one?
They
one
keep
time?
injecting venom, and they kind of ooze their venom into you, so they have to bite so that they get the wound, and then it just goes into your blood, and that's how you get really sick. And so they say put your hand in a bucket of water, and then it's like, oh, I don't want to drown, so it lets go. But how often do you have like a bucket of water? So then you could
In the
also
desert.
put your hand in a toilet, and you're thinking, I'm not putting my hand in a toilet. But which would you rather have, like a Gila monster coming with you to the hospital, embarrassed, or a toilet? Right? Put your hand in a toilet. They
Yeah,
do
toilet,
let go.
all the way, all for days. Toilets for days.
Toilet monster.
So there's like
all
a
the time.
myth that they won't let go until sundown, and that's of course dumb. That's dumb. You know that's not true.
Okay.
So that's Gila monsters. Unless you're messing with them, they're gonna give you a warning. They're gonna open their mouth. They're gonna.
I mean, how do you feel like as when you get bit compared to like a rattlesnake? Like,
It's really painful. So
Okay.
both are very, very painful. So they say, yeah, you're gonna be screaming in pain with a Gila monster, but unless you put your hand where you're not supposed to, you can't see, go for a golf ball, or like put your hands up on climbing somewhere and you can't see, you're not going to get bitten by one of these guys.
Okay.
I mean, if you get bitten, you were doing something and you were asking for it.
Okay.
So, because you can actually take lots of selfies with them, just give them their space, and they will hiss and they will look at and they will let you know that they don't want you to pick them up.
Okay.
For those of you just joining us, we're talking desert reptiles,
Yeah.
snakes, and if you guys have questions, just a reminder, feel free to ask them below. We've got Ranger Amy here with us.
So if you encounter like a rattlesnake on that and you do happen to get bit, if it's not a dry bite, like what are you supposed to do?
So there are a lot of things that you don't do.
Okay.
So I'm going to tell you first what you do because it's really simple. So say you get bitten by a rattlesnake.
It happens every Wednesday at
Every
3:30
Wednesday,
p.m.
I'm telling you.
Run as fast as you can to the trailhead.
No.
I was guessing that's what you do.
I was like, what happens every?
No, I'm guessing.
every time at the
I'm
trailhead.
guessing what you do.
Yeah.
When you get bit by a snake.
When you get bitten
Is that
by
what you don't do? Run as fast as possible?
Yeah, you don't do that.
Because I was thinking about this just last night because I was out by myself at like 9:30 p.m. running around the Phoenix Mountains. My light was really dull. I just turned it off, so it was just the full moon.
Yeah.
I was like, I have a phone. It's like, well, what if I just stepped on a snake and it bit my leg? And I'm like, I didn't have water with me. I was really thirsty already, and I'm like, what would happen? I'm like, did I just sprint down to the trailhead real quick and
Are you able
yell
to
for
do that when you
911?
get bit?
So you want to? It depends. So it depends a lot on how much venom is injected. You might get a little bit. You might get a lot. You might get none. So you don't know. You might even get venom injected and it doesn't even swell up because you're bleeding internally, and it just so you might not even know. Like right off the, isn't that crazy? But snake bites are very, very rare. And fatalities are even rarer. So you're more likely to get stung by a bee and die. I think that's the number one way that people die from animals, and the second one is from a cow. So,
But I think like
snakes are so
but
far
it's
down
more
the list.
fear-inducing. Like a snake, I think, is the most.
Oh,
it'd probably
yeah.
the most fear-inducing animal you can experience. Maybe otherwise than a dog.
Like,
possibly.
Even having the snakes in here with the rattle, like it's unsettling.
And that's what I'm here to to talk about it, because it really is not that. It's not one of those things that you should really. It shouldn't wreck your run. So you should be aware, and you should definitely not want to step on it.
The one thing I always tell people is, like, don't blast your music in both ears, because then you can't hear it if it is trying to warn you.
Exactly. So you definitely want to stay aware, and I like to, you're always looking ahead. And the thing about trail running, you're hopefully not zoning out, because you have to watch where you're putting every step. So if you're watching where you're putting your foot down, you're not going to step on a rattlesnake, hopefully, right? Otherwise you weren't watching.
True.
But a lot of times it's when you see that snake and you start messing with it.
That's when people get bitten. And people are always saying to me, oh, I need to kill this rattlesnake because I have kids or something like this. It's kids between the ages of 18 and 24.
When you go to kill it, that's
that
when
are male
you get
get bitten, and it's the ones that are picking it up, they're playing with it, messing with it, or they're trying to kill it, and it's not dead yet. Some people get bitten after it's dead because it still has reaction for a little while
like
after the head. Like a nerve reaction.
So you go to pick it up, and it's like strikes.
Exactly, and they can still inject because it's like a hypodermic needle. So you just, people are mess with snakes, and that's the majority of bites.
Makes sense to me.
There you go. So here's
So
what
you get
not
bit.
to do.
Go ahead.
Or here's what to do. You say you got bitten on the finger. You want to take off any rings. You want to take any.
Sorry, I'll stop interrupting.
Don't cut off
Lose
your
the finger.
I'm like taking so seriously here. So you want to take off any rings or any watches in your Garmin. Definitely take your Garmin off. Because otherwise they're going to cut it off when they get to the hospital, and your hand is like the size of a balloon. So take those restricting things off, because it's going to
let it swell.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you want to take all those things off. Then you want to try to keep as calm as possible. And then you want to and then immediately have someone call, or you call 911, and just let them know, and they can either send an ambulance out to the closest trailhead, or start getting anti-venom ready, that kind of thing. So you just want to try to stay calm and then walk out. You don't want to get your heart rate up, like you're
But walk out of there.
And walk out
Don't
of there.
just sit in one spot.
Don't
doing
sit
nothing.
and wait for the helicopter to come.
Walk, get out.
Walk out. Try to keep your hand like below your heart.
Keep calm. But number one thing, you need to get anti-venom. Like, that's what has to happen.
That's what has to happen if you get envenomated. And so and depending on how much is how many vials they're going to get you. So you're going to get to the hospital, and they're going to take it over from there. That's the only thing you need to do. So here's the things you don't do. You don't do a tourniquet. You don't wrap it up, because that's basically going to concentrate the venom in the area, and that's already kind of working to basically kill all the tissues. And that's why you've seen those gross pictures of like the tissue turning black and stuff. And so another thing you don't want to do is you don't want to make it a cross. Like, you don't want to cut, because that's just going to make an infection. And you don't want to suck the venom out. That's another old wives' tale, because it's
because that's like something you see on the movies or something where they cut it open and they suck out the poison.
Thanks
that
a lot, John Wayne.
That doesn't really
no
does nothing for
does
it.
nothing.
Okay.
It's gonna, if you cut it open, it's gonna get an infection, and if you try to suck it out, it's already in your system. Yeah. So it's kind of like if you got a flu shot, and then you're like, oh, I don't want it, and the nurse is like, and the nurse is like, oh, I'm sorry, but I already put it in, and then you're like, are you going to be able to suck the vaccine out? No. Okay. So you're going to be able to wipe off the stuff on the side, but that's on the outside.
So once it's bit you,
it's in. If you do one of those snakebite kits, it's kind of like, it works like cupping, right? And so
I've seen those.
And cupping is dangerous if the tissues are starting to die, right, around where you got bitten. So if you do the snakebite kit and you like extract it, it's going to damage the area around the bite. So that's actually going to make it worse. And it's not going to draw any venom out hardly at all. It's like, it's minuscule.
So those don't really do anything either.
So don't keep one in your backpack. Okay. Don't worry about it. My mom was like, do you take a snake packet? I'm like, no, Mom. How many times do I have to tell you? Okay. So don't do that. Just basically stay calm and get someone to get you to the hospital, and then hopefully you have good health insurance.
Ooh, okay.
Because it's expensive. Those are the things.
That's like $10,000 per dose or something like that.
Yeah, it's so expensive.
Oh, gosh.
So. All right, so this is Hermione, and Hermione is a desert blonde tarantula. Who said? I don't know why everyone thinks that blondes have more fun, but this one might. This one might actually have more fun because she gets to go and be on your show, right?
Yes. Hello.
So.
Hello.
You want to touch that one?
Sure.
Okay, so know that she has two means of defense, and neither of them are life-threatening. Okay. You are never going to have to go to the hospital unless you have some kind of immune deficiency or some problem or, weird allergy or stuff like that. You're not going to go to the hospital for a tarantula bite. It's basically that they're just creepy and they have a bad reputation.
Okay.
So go ahead and put your hand out if you want, and I'll let her crawl on you.
Okay.
Either way.
We'll do it this way. I mean, palms in, palms out, palms. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. She's like trying to decide if she wants to go
It's
in
like,
your hands.
listen.
There you go. So 2 ways to defend. She can bite if she wants to, but you really have to be messing with them. And they'll tell you if they don't want you to pick them up. They'll kind of raise their butt up in the air and they'll be like, don't do it. And then another way that she can defend herself is, see how she has like a bald spot?
Yeah.
That's not because she's old, because she is, but it's not because she's got...
Oh, she's
like,
running out of room. She's running out of room.
So you just treadmiller. So I like to call it, just treadmiller. And then she flicks those little butt hairs out like little shards of glass.
Oh, God.
And they're irritating, but it's not going to hurt you unless you're like leaning down to kiss it. So just don't kiss her. I know she's really pretty. Okay, maybe not. She's kind of creepy, right? But a coyote or a bobcat is going to have their eyes. Nice. A coyote or bobcat is their eyes are gonna be right there, right? So when she flicks these little hairs, it gets in their eyes and like, and then the tarantula runs away.
So they're trying like. So coyotes, bobcats, things like they like to eat tarantulas.
Yes.
Okay.
So lots of things in the desert like to eat tarantulas. Like I once saw a roadrunner take one by a leg and it went bam, 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 and then it just started picking the legs off the tarantula one by one. It was I kind of felt bad for it. You had enough?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
it's ticklish.
It doesn't want to go anywhere. It wants to stick with me.
See, because your hand's warm.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
It's just gonna chill with jams.
Yep. So they're venomous, but only mildly venomous. So it's one of those things. These are really
now you
overrated.
tell us they're venomous. You should really use it. She's like, you can hold this thing. How does it compare to a scorpion?
Very mild, like
a
scorpion.
More? Because I've had scorpions.
Way less, and it depends on what kind of scorpion. So I didn't bring any scorpions today, but
house scorpion. Ones that's in your house.
The ones that are on the wall.
Yeah.
The wall scorpion.
Are bark scorpions. So no other scorpion species. We have 32 in Arizona. No other species can climb on the wall. Just bark scorpions, and that's the only one that can send you to the hospital, unless you have an allergic reaction or some weird reaction.
Can everyone see this?
Can you? Oh, I thought you were giving it back.
No, I was just making sure like Facebook could see this.
I hope they can see it.
Come on, Facebook.
Cool.
Yeah, she's gone.
I
Is
think
she going into like defense mode?
No, she's just like
she's
curious.
chilling.
It's like when your dog kind of goes with one paw. She's just like,
She's like frozen.
She's doing the mannequin challenge.
Yeah. So they're really overrated. If you get to see one on the trail, take pictures, enjoy.
Anyone
you can
else?
pick up a wild one. I do all the time. And if they don't want you to pick them up, they'll kind of raise their butt up and let you know. But in general, you could just pick up a wild tarantula. Oh. And, you have to know that it could bite you. I'm
totally doing that.
You should. I mean, it could possibly bite you, but really, they don't prefer to, they would rather flick those little butt hairs on you.
But what would like the regional parks, do they not want you doing that? Or are they like, go ahead, like pick up the wild tarantula? Or is it kind of like, or you can't say?
I think that the regional parks they always want you to kind of leave wildlife alone for sure, but so don't do it. So if I'm talking about like in your backyard.
Okay, not in the regional parks, but like in the national forest.
Because you don't want to like harass the wildlife that you find in a park. But if you've got one in your backyard or in your house and you want to put it outside because it's in your house, then you just pick it up and just put it outside nicely. And this is about as big as they get.
How would I go about finding a tarantula? Because I have like desert in my backyard. Like, are they back there? Probably.
They are. So you look down in a hole.
Where would I find one?
You're doing a great job. To find one, you just look in a hole, and they usually like those. Their favorite are the holes that go straight down.
Though.
They're nocturnal.
Okay, so they're not going to come out in the day.
Probably not generally. So they have. If you look in a hole and you see like there's a film of a web over the hole, kind of covering it, or along the sides, then there's probably a tarantula in there. So most holes that you look in the desert probably have a tarantula down in it. And they live with the snakes and the tortoises, and you just never know what's in one hole. They all kind of live together, unless they eat each other. So a snake, all those holes that you see in the desert are rodent holes first and snake holes second, because snakes don't dig. They don't have arms. They're like T-Rexes. They just can't dig. So, but they don't even have the little arms, right? So I'm laughing at my son, so goofy. And so those when they go down into a rodent hole for the night, if there's a rodent in there and they're hungry, they'll eat one, obviously. But other things live in there, like this guy, maybe a lizard, and all these things can live down in the holes. And then most of the time you don't see these except at night. You might see a black one, but you see them a lot in October, and that's mating in September, October. That's mating season for the guys. And the guys are, if you're a girl tarantula, like every night is ladies' night, because the guys come to you.
Oh.
So it's not like Tinder, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the guys have to go to the holes, and they go to the entrance, and they like do the little thing. And if she doesn't like how he does his little dance, then she could eat him.
Oh.
And so she kind of waits for him, and
It's a heck of a dating game,
right?
Oh.
So she just waits down in the hole for him and chills out. So most of the tarantulas that you're gonna see, and they're mostly in the fall, are males that are black. They're walking around, and they're basically looking for a mate, and hopefully they won't be food. You're doing a great job.
Okay, great.
All right,
you are.
Should we move on to JubeTube and then get our Q&A going?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Or do you have more you wanted to talk about?
no, that's it.
Okay,
So
cool.
yeah. So hopefully everybody
So,
will.
is there any
ask questions
reason
in
that
between.
anyone like
I'll come back.
encountering these critters on the trail should be afraid or
Yeah, I
nervous
guess we
or-
really didn't say that, did we? Did I? So you always should be aware of animals when you're on the trail, because animals they're defensive. So almost everything is going to think that it's a meal. This little guy thinks you want to eat it. Snakes think you want to eat it. Everybody's acting defensively. So they're like, don't. So it's kind of like a little chihuahua. Like when a chihuahua barks, you laugh at it because you're like, you're so little. But if that chihuahua's venomous, all of a sudden you'd be like, oh. And that's how snakes are. Snakers are like, they're like barking chihuahuas, only they're rattling, and they're like, I'm freaking out. Don't step on me. Please don't eat me.
Okay.
And so if you look at it from that point of
They're
view,
scared.
they're just scared, and they're like, I'll bite your ankles, And that's kind of, I'll bite your kneecaps off. And that's basically what snakes are saying. And they just want you not to step on them. And if they don't think you've seen them, they may not rattle. They'll just do their own thing. And if you leave them alone, you don't have to stand there and guard at the trail. They'll just slither off the trail.
Okay.
So,
Awesome.
all right. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Ask me questions.
Yes, we will bring Ranger Amy
ask,
back.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Ask her some questions. We'll come right back.
questions.
Okay, what's the game?
This game, JubeTube, somebody commented on YouTube to try the mannequin hand challenge from Mountain Outpost.
Oh, we're doing that one again. What was the challenge? We're trying the challenge.
So it was
How's it working
basically,
today?
he suggested that we take shots of things, correct, Enzo? Using the mannequin hands. So Enzo has devised some challenge in order to, I don't know. We're going to do some things with the mannequin hands. That's what we're going to do. We're going to open a can of soda.
Let's do it.
With, okay. This is going to be disastrous. I mean, you know what's going to happen. Okay.
I'm going to win. That's what's going to happen.
Okay. Countdown?
Oh, I'm going for it.
You're already going. Okay, evidently we've started this game. We're looking at JubeTube.
We only have so much time for this show. We got to really make the time count.
Okay, I got it. I'm gonna do it. I got it. Oh, you know what? Flip it.
Oh, man. This is intense.
Okay.
You got nails over there?
Yeah, I
I
think
wish I had nails. These are like not nail. These are not nail specific.
Enzo, I don't know about it. I don't know about it. Okay.
Yeah, those nails, man. Oh, it's getting so close to the edge.
She needs a manicure for show. Okay.
I'm getting desperate over here. I lost my hand. Oh, you just got it. Thank goodness, because I don't think I was going to be able to do it. What's the white powder all about?
It's she needs to moisturize.
Oh.
Okay, here we go. Wait.
Okay.
Okay.
You won that one.
Next. Okay. It's a twofer.
This is the water bottle flip challenge?
This is the
I haven't even done this in real life. I'm so excited.
I haven't either. There's a technique to this, right? Ready?
Shit. I need to tape my hands on, I think.
Oh.
What does that happen? Okay.
Okay. Oh. That was good.
At least I got it in the air.
Yeah, that's
cool.
solid. Oh.
It landed on the ground, but it didn't flip over. Oh, God. Oh, no.
You know what? I'm just going to put the lid on the snake for a second. I'm just going to...
You're flipping a bottle into the snake?
I'm not trying.
It's not a good idea.
No, I didn't. I'm just saying, just to safeguard.
Okay, we got like half a rotation.
Ah, wait, you know what?
Oh, that was so close.
So close.
Lost my hand again. Oh my God. I think I'm gonna break the bottle, but I think that's fine.
Okay, like I'm curious how like. Oh gosh, Jan, you gotta get this because there's no hope for me.
That's why I was hoping you would get the other one, so I'll see what I can do here.
I mean, you're there. You're there. So close. Okay.
This is getting out of control.
Okay.
I'm not gonna give up. Yeah, don't give up.
I know. Okay.
You could still do it.
Breathe.
Oh, look at this
There you
teamwork.
Like, here's the thing. Mermaids are not really there for the grip. You know what I'm saying?
They're made for different things. Like
Yes.
yours are made for opening cans of Diet Pepsi.
Exactly. Pepsi,
And mine
can
are made for
openers,
flipping
and like
water bottles.
ponderances of things. Like, why can't I do this? I don't know.
Oh, so close.
Okay.
I mean, I want to get it. I know I can get it. I don't think I can give up. I think I have to get it, you know? Like, I'm not going to quit.
That means. This is what we do. Wednesday afternoon. Okay.
These are some great bottles. These are really strong.
These are really
Fiji,
strong ones.
Pay for it.
You're looking for a
That was a
solid plastic product. Oh god.
false start. Well, yeah, plastic doesn't really ever go. We have 0 live viewers right now.
Probably. I apologize, guys.
Okay, one more try, and then we'll have to do it in the post show.
Okay. Ready? Oh!
Alright.
So close.
What's the next one? We got to move the show along.
Okay, binder.
Okay, we got a binder. We got to open it, unbind it, and take the page out without tearing the page.
Without tearing the page.
Ready, set,
Yes.
go. How do these work again? You like...
Or you could just pull it apart by the rings.
Oh, you just gave me a clue.
Oh, what are you trying to do, man?
Well, you got the same clue. No! How'd you get that?
Don't worry about it.
It's gonna fall into the snake.
Ta-da!
Okay, clearly you won that one too.
It's okay. I have confidence in the next
Okay.
one.
Is there another one?
Yeah, there
And
is.
he answers like yes. Alright, another one.
Why do I get the pink pen automatically? Okay, I've got to click the pen and write. Are you kidding me?
test this one? Is this even possible? You didn't have mannequin hands. You couldn't test it.
Okay. Dang it!
Oh, clicked it.
I can't. It's. This is not right. Oh. Oh no. Oh my gosh. Okay, click. Click.
Did you click yours?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, dang, dude. We're caught up. Oh, look. Some stuff started to be written. I feel like I'm going to move the paper, not the pen. I got some ink on the page.
No. Oh gosh darn it.
I made a
Did
J.
I click the pin? No. You know what? No. Okay.
Come on, don't lose it. Don't you lose it. Mm-mm.
Oh. Okay, but I can't keep the paper. Can't. Oh, gosh darn it. Okay, got it? I got it. Wait for it. Wait for it. No. He's stippling his name. This is actually a solid attempt.
Does this count?
I
Do you see it?
I actually see a J and I see a
J-A-M.
I see a jam.
Yes!
That's solid. That's awesome strategy. Stippled all the way.
Oh, that was intense. I'm warm now. Is there more?
Oh,
One
there's
more.
One more.
One more.
So are we almost? If you win this next one, we'll tie it up and then we'll do post-show
There it
water
is.
bottle challenge.
Jam.
It's pretty good.
I'll have to put that up on Haley's office wall.
She has all of our
Drawings. Ha!
High-fives! Huzzah!
And then there's like white.
No! I'm telling you. Moisturized
You want to
girl.
own these mannequin arms? We'll be selling it later on eBay.
Girl, you need to moisturize.
Oh, please stop.
First one to finish read.
Okay.
This is
Ready?
This is
Set, go! What if you spill it?
Oh.
You rushed me.
Technically, I got them all down.
I was doing so
I
good.
did have spillage.
Owl? Oh my god. You okay? There's like one towel on. Oh, there we go.
Here, I'll unroll the next towel for you. Again.
Q&A, right?
Q&A. Oh my. Oh.
Okay, let's jump into the Q&A.
Bring Ranger Amy back.
Danger Ranger.
Ranger.
You made a mess.
A little
Some
bit.
white powder.
I did. Don't worry about my white powder.
Test it all later. Make sure it's legit.
Okay, we're going to jump into the Q&A now.
Okay, there
Thank
we
you
go.
guys for the questions in
Longest
advance.
trail talk ever, I know. These guys were guessing on your species of rattlesnakes, 36, 25, and too many.
So who guessed 25? They win. Corinne, you win. You get closest.
It's the Bring Snakes to Work Day. Yes, it is.
You should have seen their faces. It was epic.
We got some more guesses. 3, 37, 10,000, 12. That Joel
Oh,
Frisk.
oh.
Really close.
Who is that? Joel?
Joel Frisk.
Joel
Frisk.
Frisk.
Frisch. Got the closest on that.
All right, nice job, Joel.
Swift Zen also guessed 12.
Oh. then-
17 for E5G. Between 3 and 6. Okay, lots of questions over
All
here.
right, good. So Joel
Um,
and the other person that guessed 12, you got closest without going over.
Seriously,
Sorry.
I'd say there's only 4 genuses of venomous snakes. Okay.
It's a genus. We didn't talk about like coral snakes versus vipers.
Jubes, please be careful, you big-hearted, lovely thing. Wow.
Oh,
Oh.
okay. Well, thanks.
Definitely don't want to see one of those rattlers if I was running/high. Chris Ward, I saw one of those at Hotfoot Hamster. The tarantulas, maybe?
No, I think he saw a snake.
Oh, we saw a snake? Okay.
Right?
Oh.
I don't remember that, but that's crazy.
So Hotfoot Hamster was kind of a low, just sort of it wasn't up in the mountains, right? So I bet,
Yeah.
I'm going to guess it was probably a Western Diamondback that you saw, Chris.
Like in farm fields?
Yeah.
It could be in farm fields?
Western
Okay.
Diamondback,
So
yeah.
if you see a rattler ahead of you on a trail, what should you do? Jump over it, turn around, run around it. That's from SL Sadler 1015. So you see it, it's like laying in the middle of the trail. What do you do?
So see it lying in the middle of the trail. So see, this is the business end right here. I would go around it, just go around it. Sometimes it'll turn around and like look at you, and then usually it will just sort of go off the trail. So I would go around the tail end of it and just give it a wide berth. And if it's going on the trail, it'll just keep on going the way it's going off the trail.
It's not going to chase you.
It's not going to chase you unless it thinks that your direction is the way to go out,
Okay.
like to get away.
Okay.
So don't throw rocks at it. Don't worry about that kind of thing. Just go around the tail end, and because that's the way it's going that way. So just imagine that it's going to keep on going that way.
Nice.
And just give it some space. And then don't step on another one in the bush as you're going around it.
All right, mastering trails. Desert tortoise on the trail, and you are worried that bikes might run over him, etc. Can you move it?
Oh, yeah, that's a great question. Okay, so imagine that your tortoise is... can you hand me that Gila monster, and I'll use it and pretend it's my tortoise. Okay. So if this is the tortoise and it's on, and the table is the trail, you can pick it up, but only pick it up a few inches and kind of scoot your body along and then place it back down on the other side. Make sure it's the direction it was going, because otherwise it's going to still go back on the trail again. So you want to pick it up, but don't pick it up too high. You pick it up too high and it thinks it's gonna get dropped and then torn apart and eaten, because that's what some predators do when they're little, is pick it up, drop it. So don't pick it up too high. If you pick it up too high, it'll get scared and then it'll pee. And that's not good for you or the tortoise, because what will happen is they've stored all that water and it will lose all of its water and then it'll get dehydrated and die. So it needs all that water. So don't pick it up too far if you don't have to, because it will pee on you. And please don't take them home. We don't need any more in captivity for sure, because there's a lot of them in there.
Xavier Parra 88. Wait for the snake to cross. Give it space. Responding to the earlier question, is that?
Yeah, you could, obviously just wait for it to go by.
Wait for it to do its thing.
Sure, because it will just leave. I mean, if it's laying there on the trail sunning itself and it's happy, it might not leave. So I guess that was if it's not moving. If it's coiled up, just go around it. Just give it a lot of space. If it knows that you're not going after it, it's not going to come towards you and actively pursue you, because it wants to just stay where it is and just do its own thing.
DA Silent Assassin. Do snakes run in multiples? For example, if I let one pass and start to run, how likely is there to be another one behind it? Like, will there be another one
Sure.
right behind
Where
it?
should I look? This one or this one?
Either one.
Doesn't
You
matter.
just look, or you look towards there.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's probably best, because
Is
that'll
that
be
the best
that's
one?
like archived forever. This
okay.
is just temporary and
I'll
these
just
go
look
away.
at this one. Okay. So the question was whether. Go ahead and read the question again. Oh, if in multiple.
Yeah, like, is there going to be, like, if you, like, stop, let one cross, like,
Sure.
will your buddy who's behind you encounter a second one, like, right behind it?
It's not likely. So I hear a lot of times like, oh, if you see one snake, you're going to see another one. They're not social. So they're not like us, because we're social. We run social, but snakes don't. So there's not likely to be one just because you just saw one. Now, if you see one, that means that the conditions are right for seeing snakes, chances are. So if you see one, there's a good chance that you might see another one on your trail, but chances are they're not going to be hanging out together unless they're a mated pair. Chances are if you see one, there's not going to be one close by. But obviously, there's always a possibility, but it doesn't mean that there's another one right close by.
Right on.
Hope that helps.
Cool. The not so slow sloth. Nope. Nope. Spiders. Nope.
I respect that. It's okay.
Ben Nichols. Jamil, what's one tip you'd give a former ultra runner who's starting to train again after gaining 5 kids and many, many pounds? Also, Extreme Makeover Ultra Runner Edition. One tip, I would say start a run streak. So get out there every day and do at least 1 mile every single day. It'll help build momentum. It'll help get you out the door. You'll start to feel better about your situation and like your running, and you'll start to gain fitness slowly but surely. But
Nice.
try and build a run streak, even if it's just 1 mile per day.
I like that.
Louis Brennan, listening while on a trail run, training for my first marathon in 50K. Pretty epic.
Awesome.
I'm curious what that would have all have sounded like.
With the snakes and everything.
Grace Runner 68, is there a mountain where snakes are more predominant than others in Arizona?
Well, I can tell you that South Mountain has 6 of the 13 species.
Wow.
So if you don't like snakes, that's not your favorite mountain. But then again, you know, it's a really populated mountain, so a lot of people run it. So it's just one of those things. But certain mountains are you're more likely to see just because there's a lot of space and because some species like mountains rather than flats. So like sidewinders, like flats, Western Diamondbacks, they like it all. They just like slopes, flats. And then the other ones that I was showing you, like the speckleds and the tigers, they really like climbing mountains. So they like rocky slopes. So I would, if you're not a big fan of snakes, then just avoid real rocky areas and avoid big boulders. So snakes not going to be able to hide between real small rocks, but big boulders they could hide underneath. And so just kind of be aware and don't let it ruin your running. Seriously, it's a lot of fun out there. And if you learn more, the more you learn about snakes, the more you might actually enjoy seeing them. Okay, maybe that's a little stretch, but for me, like 13 snakes, that's my bucket list.
It's kind of a rush.
Like
Nice.
I want
seeing
to
them out there.
be able to see all of them in the wild, and I haven't done that yet. So it's kind of my bucket list. I have a
Roger-
bucket list.
Roger overall, mannequin challenge with the snakes. That would have been fun.
Oh, that would have been a good idea.
Oh gosh, no.
Runner Travis, hey everyone, awesome to see special guest Amy. I'm in LA on day 13 from Seattle to Dallas. Can't wait to see you all soon.
Yay.
Sweet. Hey Travis.
Great
Welcome-
job, Travis,
Hey.
representing.
Welcome to the show.
That's a good cause
And,
that you're doing.
yeah, is he coming through Phoenix on his journey? I'm guessing because we're in between Phoenix and Dallas.
I think so, yeah.
Cool. We're gonna have to keep an eye out for you when you come through town.
Yeah, for sure.
E5G for Ranger Amy. I was a ranger for over a decade. Thank you for giving us your weekends and holidays for us to enjoy public lands.
Oh,
Awesome.
very cool. Thank you.
Yay. And then Corinne Green says, would a rattlesnake ever go into those rodent holes, or is that the smaller snakes?
Definitely. You'd be surprised at how small a hole a rattlesnake can fit into. Very small holes. So yes, the rodent holes that you see, absolutely.
Okay. And then she also asked, any advice on encountering javelina?
Oh, so javelina are like big rhinos. They just can't see very well. So you know, like a rhino is like
Small
a
rhinos.
small rhinos. Yes, thank you. Small rhino. So like you know, like a rhino can't see very well, so it just like charges everything. So they're just sort of like always on the offensive. That's what javelinas do. So they basically are always on the offensive. They can't see well, and chances are they don't see you half the time. They can smell you and they don't know where you are. Sometimes a herd of javelina will like run in your direction, and I've heard of people like getting actually bumped into by javelina because they're just like whoa, and they just scatter in all the directions. Like ooh, scatter in all the directions. So make sure that if you encounter javelinas, you actually make noise. You want to let them know where you are. So clap your hands and kind of yell in a low voice, and so that they can know where you are. They can take off running the other way. If you have a dog on a leash, you're more likely to get the attention of a javelina, negative attention, because dogs smell like coyotes, and coyotes to a javelina are like, they're like Roadrunner and Coyote, like they're arch enemies. So they smell a dog and they're automatically like on alert. So just be aware that if you have a dog, make sure they're on a leash, that when they're, especially if you're in javelina country, and because they're more, just know that they're more likely to get upset.
Awesome. And then she's also asking, do you have any stats on snake bites, like a yearly stat?
I didn't get stats on it. It's very low. It's under 10.
Okay.
It's super, super low. You'd be really oh, I'm sorry, that's fatalities. People that die from snake bites, very, very unlikely. And there are a lot of snake bites every year just because people are being dumb. The majority of snake bites are people that own snakes. So they own snakes, and they get bitten when they're handling their own snakes or feeding their own snakes. And that's so people are like, hey, I'm going to pick it up, or hold my beer, watch this, and yeah. So those are the majority of snake bites.
And then Jeff Pettit says, what about bees? I've been stung a few times on the trail by bees and wasps, but it seems like every year I read about someone getting seriously attacked by a swarm at Camelback Mountain. Any suggestions?
Sure. So 90 to 95%, they're estimating now, of all bees in Arizona are the Africanized killer bees. So that's not dangerous for you per se, like each individual bee, but like instead of getting stung by one bee, you'll get stung by 100 bees. And that's why they're dangerous. So don't worry about one little bee that you're seeing on a flower. And the swarms are doing their own thing, and they're not even, like, swarms are people just, like, in a rave, just doing their own thing. They're not going to be, like, bumping into you, or they could bump into you, but chances are they won't sting you. It's the hive mentality. When you encounter a hive, that's when you want to watch out. So if you come upon a tree with a big hole or a saguaro and you hear the buzzing inside and you know there's a hive in there, just hightail it. Don't go anywhere. Well, don't run, but don't go anywhere
Don't
near
go looking
it,
for honey.
because those Africanized bees are very aggressive as far as bees goes. They're more aggressive than the European ones. So yeah, just stay safe and just try to stay calm.
Is it something that, like, with bees, like, they will attack unprovoked if you're in the area?
People say that they are sensitive to smells.
Okay.
So you might smell wrong, or colors. You might be wearing the wrong color. So just be aware that if you hear a hive, I would definitely stay away.
Okay. And then Stephanie Shibley says, what about times of day for encountering rays?
Oh, I'm glad that you asked
the
that.
snakes. Sorry.
So snakes are really temperature dependent more than days. So this time of year is sort of like, we're in that sort of cusp time where it's just starting to get hot. So they're starting to switch over from being active in the day to being active at night. So trail runners at night, yay! So we're going to start seeing more snakes at night now that it's summertime. We're getting the temperatures. The magic number is, like, they love 82 degrees, and right around that 80-degree mark, they love that. That's like their favorite ideal. Hotter than that, they're going to be underground during the day. Okay. And once we get sort of like we don't have 80-degree days anymore, they're going to be out at night, and that's when you're going to see them at night more. They love humidity, but they don't love the moon. So a night like tonight would be perfect for seeing rattlesnakes, except we have the moon.
Really? So I wouldn't, like, last night when I was running around in the dark with, like, a full moon, almost a full moon out, I'm probably pretty safe.
Well,
it's not totally, I know.
Not totally. Okay. So you had because it was humid, you actually had more chances of seeing a snake last night. But because of the moon, then your chances are slightly less. So
what do they not like about the moon? Is it just
because they think everything's going to eat them? And so the moon shows up everything. So it exposes them. It's really bright. So they want to hide. Okay. So they don't like the full moon.
Very cool.
Any other questions from Instagram or Facebook? We're going to be winding down in a minute. And then we got to finish this challenge.
I know.
Well, I really appreciate you having me on, and
thank you.
I hope people know that it's just, it's safe to trail run. Just be aware, and we're pretty lucky to have all the animals that we have in Arizona. At least I think so. I think it's pretty cool. I mean, to have I'm from New Hampshire, and we didn't have all these different venomous creatures, and so
you're excited about it.
I love it. Of course, this might be a reason I'm still single. But I geek out of this, and I really like sharing, and I hope that people, after seeing all these animals, at least understand sort of their motivations and don't let it ruin your run.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thanks for the info.
You're welcome.
Great having you and all
Amy.
of the friends.
For sure.
Elvis.
Absolutely. Thank you guys
Elvis
for what
is
you
my
do.
new pal.
Oh,
Elvis?
Totally
I think so.
I
like Hermione. She's adorable.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
We'll see you next week. Nope. I will not.
Yeah, you're taking a week off.
I'm taking a week off, so I will not see you next week. This guy.
I'll see you next week.
We'll do something.
Yeah, we'll do something.
Cool.
Later.
Bye guys.